All right, so this is part 2 of Module 1, Lesson 6. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, you need to go back and make sure you've watched that. Okay, so we left off here where we were relating multiplication and division. So we need to skip count and keep track of the number of 3's it takes to get to 24. So we're going to write our skip count as we go by 3's. Here we go. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay, let's count. How many times did we have to count by 3 to get to 24? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had to count by 3 8 times to get to 24. So it took 8 3's to make 24. So if we were to take that same problem and turn it into a division equation, what could we do? So we have 8 times 3 equals 24. If we turn that around into a division problem, we would have 24 divided by 3. Okay, but if those problems are related, which number's missing? We have 24 in both problems. We have 3 in both problems. Which number are we missing in the division problem? 8. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24, and 24 divided by 3 equals 8. Okay, so both equations have the same numbers. So 24 divided into groups of 3, like we did here, would equal 8 groups. So those two problems are related. Okay, so now we're going to take what we learned and apply it on our problem set. So just like we've done the last couple of lessons, we're going to do a few together, and then on Seesaw, I've assigned you these pages to do at home, but you're only going to need to do certain problems because we've already done some together. So we're going to go ahead and do number 1. We're going to do number 1, number 3, and number 5. Okay, and on Seesaw, make sure that you are going through all the pages, not just the first one, to look for your problems. So since there's 2 pages on Seesaw, you'll need to scroll through to make sure you've done both pages, the numbers I want you to do. Okay, number 1. Rick puts 15 tennis balls into cans. Each can holds 3 balls. Circle groups of 3 to show the balls in each can. Okay, so we know that there's 15 tennis balls total, and each can hold 3 balls. Okay, so we need to circle groups of 3. So we're going to do that now. So here's one group of 3, another group of 3, another group of 3. Let's keep going. Okay, did it make equal groups? Yes, it did, because there isn't one left over. So we know that there's 3 balls in each can, and we know that there's 15 total. Now we can find how many cans there are. So let's count how many groups we were able to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Rick would need 5 cans for all 15 tennis balls. Okay, now we have to fill in the blanks for our multiplication and division problems. Okay, so blank times 3 equals 15. Let's think about that. Think about our problem. We knew that 15 represents our total, and then 3 represented the size of the groups. And we solved for the number of groups, which was 5. So 5 times 3 equals 15. Okay, let's flip it around and do division. 15 divided by 3 equals, well, let's think about that. If this division problem is related to the multiplication problem, which number are we missing? We have 15, we have 3, but we don't have 5. So 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Okay, so 15 divided into groups of 3, just like we did up here, you would end up with 5 groups. Okay, great job. Let's move on to number 3. It says use an array to model problem 1. Okay, so we have to go ahead and draw an array for this problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw it kind of down here at the bottom. So do an array. So we need to do, if we have 5 times 3 equals 15, so this is the same thing you did up here. So 5 times 3 equals, sorry about that, 5 times 3 equals 15. So then 15 divided by 3 would be equal to 5. Okay, so we know that we need to draw an array showing 5 rows of 3. Let's go ahead and do that now. 5 rows of 3. Okay, there's 1 row of 3, 2 rows of 3, 3 rows of 3, 4 rows of 3, and 5 rows of 3. Okay, and if I skip counted by 3s, I would do, by 3s, not 5s. I would do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, so this array, guys, is the same thing as what we showed up here, okay, but it's in an organized way, so it's just rows and columns. So the number in the blanks, so where we filled in our 5, what did the 5 in our problem represent? The number of groups or the size of the groups? Okay, so the number 5 represents the number of groups. So number of groups. Okay. Let's go ahead and flip that around. So on B, it would be 5 times 3. Okay, and then 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So we're just switching the 5 and the 3. So that array would look a little bit different. Instead of 5 rows of 3, we're going to do 3. So 5, or instead of 5 rows of 3, we would do, wait a second. Hold on, Miss Chappell needs to make sure that I'm telling you the right thing. Sorry about that, friends. Okay, I just wanted to be sure I was telling you the right thing. So we don't need to redraw an array because it's still showing 5 groups of 3. 5 times 3 equals 15, and then 15 divided by 5 equals 3. But this time, the number in the blanks is 3. Okay, and if 5 represents the number of groups, then 3 represents the size, size of groups. Okay, so those are the only 2 problems. I know both of these videos seem a little long, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I am going to, on Seesaw, I'm going to give you directions for what I need you to do, because I'm not going to have you do problems on your problem set. You are going to do problems on a different page. So make sure you're checking Seesaw, where I will give you all the directions you need. Okay, you guys did a great job today. You can always come back and watch this video again if you get stuck.